Hi guys, hi Miss D. My name is Nick Gotro and this is my project. So the topic I chose was the social learning theory of criminal justice, and one of the things I learned was when you're talking about the social learning theory, you have to add specifically what you're talking about with it. And the reasoning for that is because there are a lot of different types. The two main ones that I found were either criminology or psychology. And if you're talking about criminology, you're basically talking about why criminals act the way they do and why they do the things that they do. The other thing is psychology, and if you're talking about that, then you're really just talking about child development or something along those lines. One of the main reasons that I decided to do this one was because I feel like I can make this relate to real life more than any other ones, basically because it relates to real life more than any of them. And it also fits in with a lot of other ones, a lot of the theories tie together, especially with this one. So if you're wondering what the social learning theory is, here is a really specific definition for it. According to social learning theory, juveniles learn to engage in crime in the same way they learn to engage in conforming behavior, through association with or exposure to others. However, one does not have to be in direct contact with others to learn from them. They learn to engage in crime primarily through their association with others. They are reinforced for crime, they learn beliefs that they are favorable to crime, and they are exposed to criminal models. As a consequence, they come to view crime as something that is desirable or at least justifiable in certain situations. Basically, what that really big definition is saying is monkey see, monkey do. If you grow up saying something your whole life, you're just going to repeat it. It's just going to be something that you know, and it's going to be all that you know. So, there are three ways to learn from the social learning theory. One is the live model, which is someone demonstrating the behavior. The second one is verbal instruction, which is describing to somebody how to do the crime in detail. And the third one is symbolic, which is in the media, whether it's real or fictional. Along with those three ways of learning are the four steps of learning. The first one is attention, and that just means you have to be able to pay attention to what you're doing. The second one is retention, which is being able to remember how to do it. Three is reproduction, which is just doing it again. And motivation is your reasoning for doing it. Some examples of what the social learning theory can cause is murderers, rapists, arsonists, thieves, prostitutes, drug use, or gang membership. It's actually really easy to find cases about stuff like this because it's just everywhere. Not even in this United States. One of the examples I found was in London, and that example was three South London gang members facing life sentences for stabbing somebody 24 times in 45 seconds. And all three of them were arrested for murder, and the cause of it was over soccer. Another example that I found was a 19-year-old gang member in Santa Fe killing his 17-year-old friend over a girl. He was also convicted of robbery, so he already had like a criminal record before this. And that's actually like the case for a lot of these examples. The other one I have was a man in Tulsa, Oklahoma, accused of chasing down, shooting, and beating someone near convenience stores, and he had a lot of other charges before this. Some of those were running away from a police officer, possession of marijuana, drug trafficking, robbery with a firearm, stolen property, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. And how all that ties in with the social learning theory is they basically had to have seen that or learned that from somebody else to do it. They just don't do it on their own. And another thing that all this shows is that criminals usually already have a criminal record. So that ties in with the labeling theory, which pretty much just says once a criminal, always a criminal. Even if it's not exactly true, that's how people will think of you. And if all of that still doesn't make sense, I'm going to attempt to use music as a way to just bring everything together and help explain it. Now this isn't true for everyone, but for a lot of people, music isn't just something you listen to, it actually really affects the way you act or the way you think about things, whether it's on purpose or just subconsciously. And usually when you listen to a certain type of music, you're labeled with something. And that label usually comes with some stereotypes. And whether or not those are true, generally these stereotypes hold a lot of truth. For instance, if you take somebody that listens to rap music, someone that listens to rock music, someone that listens to electronic, someone that listens to metal, and someone that listens to country, if you put them all together, they would probably all look different from each other, but they would all fit under the stereotype that you would think goes along with that music. Now this isn't always true, but we have to think generally about this. And this is usually because if you listen to a certain type of music, you're also in a certain type of environment. So you see the same things over and over again, and it just becomes something that you do, or something that you wear, or something that you say. And based off of just my personal experience, the type of music you listen to really affects the way that you think and your mood in general. And to relate all of this back to the social learning theory, if you live your entire life listening to one specific type of music, it's going to affect you in the same way that growing up and being around violence your whole life would affect you. It's just going to go back to you and you're going to reproduce it. So if you still don't understand what the social learning theory is or how it works, or if it actually works at all, hopefully the videos that are below this thing help you. If not, then you're kind of screwed. And that's about all I have. Hopefully it was less painful for you than it was for me.